beside me is Zafir Naji, and we will send you to the national anthem, and then we will get ready for today's game. See, both these teams so far this year have been the best. Once again, neither team facing a loss so far, but one of them will face that inevitability here today, and the Cougars looking to avoid that on home turf. They haven't been here for a little bit, but a big chance to prove themselves in front of their home fans.
Yeah, this matchup is what we saw in the Canada West playoffs for the last 2 years. Decide the title. 2 years ago, it was MRU winning it on home turf. Last year, it was UBC winning it on her home turf. This time, they play at Mount Royal Field 2 here. I think this is the first time John Chanda is going to see the UBC Thunderbirds. He's been great this year, 5 goals on 10 shots. But you can't go anywhere without talking about Josh Flaxman.
Oh, Josh Flaxman has been excellent. The leader in this program, had a down year last year, but he has rejuvenated his game. It will be fun to watch him and Henry Gobu, of course, the former MVP, go head-to-head here today. And speaking of Gobu, he has been the face of this T-Birds school for quite some time, and he's going to be one that the Cougars, they're going to have to be aware of today.
Yeah, he scored against University of Saskatchewan last Sunday, but honestly, their last two wins to me are all about defense. I mean, they're not letting their goalie have to face too many shots, despite him being a very high caliber keeper inside the net. So it's a lot easier to win these games when you're not letting the other team even have a chance to shoot on you, let alone score on you.
Well, and speaking of defense, that's all it was between Mount Royal and their matchups last week. They were at Fraser Valley and Trinity Western, and no goals scored in either game. It was a 0-0 get deadlocked through 2. So they'll be hungry to get back on the board and, of course, get back into that win column. As we mentioned, we are ready to go here from Mount Royal Field number 2. This is a big one. You won't want to miss. 2 heavyweights going at it.
And Truman, it feels great to be on CBC Sports. A big shout out to everyone watching us through there. Listen, Canadian collegiate sports are getting better every single year. The talent is immense. I mean, everyone looks at the hockey teams and how good those teams are, and rightfully so. But this soccer team, I mean, there's Calgary Cavalry talent up and down this. There's MLS prospects up and down this field that we're watching today. I mean, UBC and Mount Royal have dominated this conference and this country in soccer of late.
Well, this could be a preview for the Canada West Finals this year. Maybe even a matchup at Nationals, as you alluded to. And
I truly believe it will be.
Yeah, speaking of Chanda, he's probably excited to see the T-Birds. I'm sure they're not happy that he finally draws into the lineup against them. He's a treat to watch as always, and we'll see if he can do some damage here against UBC.
5 goals and an assist on the season so far for Chanda, the exact flipped opposite of Captain Finn Marshall, who has, or not captain, excuse me, but one of the better players, Finn Marshall, a goal and 5 assists this season for him as well.
And you speak of Finn Marshall, not in this game today, so a key loss for Mount Royal. They're going to have to navigate without him. And we are almost ready to go here from center field, and we are off. UBC taking possession, and they are off to the races early on. Sioux down low will send it up high. This one going towards the boundary. He'll be held in on that far side by a header from Puhal. Marcus Puhal down there, the Calgary, Alberta native. Might have some family in the stands tonight. Maybe they're watching on the live stream, but knows this place all too well. Cougars will have possession out on the side. It's Ryu. Ryu still searching for his first ever goal as a Cougar in Canada West. He has 1 assist on his career.
One of the staunchest defenders on this team, though. The level of physicality that he plays with really inspires the rest of this team to play hard, and that's one of the things that makes MRU so great in this tough conference.
Strauss out to play this one, and Z, I know you've talked a lot off air about how great Strauss has been this year. The backbone of this team.
Listen, man, of any player on this team, the one I'd love to talk about the most today is Yard Strauss. He's faced so many shots in the 7 games that the Cougars have played this year, and he's been unbelievable in net. Stepped up in the rotation after Aiden DeMullen was hurt last year, and has really made his case to be the starting goalie for this team, and a great starting goalie at that.
Comsia will move up here for the T-Birds, a pass ahead and a nice boot away there from Rogers. And not too shabby on the other end, of course, is Jack Garner. He isn't allowed a lot this year either.
I mean, in tandem with his great defenseman, he's just looked so confident in net. He's got that great long boot, as you can see there. He can kick it well out of bounds and make it look like the wind is lifting it. That's just the power of his boot, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah,
that one a little too long there. A little breeze out here today. I wouldn't describe it as wind so far, but something we'll have to keep an eye on as the game progresses. The heat also glaring down. That could be a factor later on. You know, fatigue and heat, they usually don't work well together.
And we know both of these teams work out extremely hard. Truman, after every single game here, we see both teams, men's and women's, do suicides for 30 minutes, maybe even an hour after the game is done.
This one forcing Garner all the way back. It'll go too far and over his head. That one coming off the boot of Joe Green, who was the player of the week for Mount Royal's men's soccer, large in part due to his fantastic defense.
Played 180 minutes in those 2 games, back-to-back nights, and Joe Green didn't give up on a single chance. He was lobbing great passes into the box. He was hustling back on defense. And honestly, just his laser focus was what really took it away from me when it came to what Joe Green was doing last week. MRU could have lost either of those games. They could have won either of those games. Joe Green is the reason they stayed afloat and got a point for each of those.
But yeah, at the end of the last game of the weekend, he had a glorious chance moving in against Trinity Western. He couldn't bury the low shot, but the move he made beforehand, a little forehand, or I guess left foot, right foot, and into the offensive zone was miraculous. He just couldn't bury.
The hockey there coming out in you, Truman.
Ooh, and slipping there as he tried to reconnect with a pass was Rogers. Skylar Rogers will move ahead, trying to pry the ball away once again. He was going after Afwork. Afwork, the first-year member of the UBC T-Birds. Not many of them in their starting lineup, just 2 names, and Afwork being one of them.
And UBC, regardless of what year of eligibility their players are in, you can be sure of one thing. They're going to get some of the cream of the crop of talent in this country. They're going to get the best players that they possibly can. But then again, MRU's recruiting class has not exactly stopped short of excellence either. I mean, players from Germany, players from across the country, players from across the world have made a huge impact as Cougars and have gone on to have pro careers. This roster is no different. Plenty of prospects.
Yeah, there's many players on this pitch right now that we could easily see in the pros in a couple of years. There's definitely that caliber between these 2 squads. Corner kick here for the T-Birds. It's sent in, and it is going to hit an MRU member out front and come out. Rogers will play it aside, but the T-Birds will regroup. Flag will come out. Strauss makes the save. I believe that was called offside there on the back end. I could be wrong. Not sure what's going. This could be a goal here, and I think it is. That might be the easiest goal you will ever see. A tap-in out front, and it is, I believe, Oliver Herbert who put it in on the other end.
And you can't stop playing until you hear the whistle. Even if you believe a call is offside, you have to account for the fact that a ref might not have noticed it or that you might be wrong. A rare show of complacency, Truman. You never see the MRU team lose focus like that.
No, and that was Luke Norman on the other end, actually, and just a bizarre turn of events. Strauss without the ball out front, it was just sitting there, and Norman with a heads-up play. That's not getting too involved in the emotion of the game and just playing it how it is. Good job by Norman, and he's got the T-Birds up 1-0 in an important game for both these teams.
I wouldn't count on MRU to keep themselves down for too long, though, here. Early goals generally tend to lead to a comeback later on in the game, and MRU's got the talent to make that happen.
Waxman has that one taken away, and here go the T-Birds the other way again. It's Nicholas Nadeau, the first year, will send it up ahead, and Comsey on the other end will play it out front, and that one sent high and aside all the way into the construction that we have going on behind us, and a near play out front. It was a bang-bang play, but wasn't able to be made by British Columbia.
That ball's going to become a part of Stadium Field next year, Truman. Put that in the foundation.
For now, we'll stay here on Mount Royal Field 2.
It's still a great field, great day. Warm as ever. All of us are in shorts here in the commentator's booth.
Good call by all of us, I would say. Nadeau down low. Oh, nice move around Green. Cutting to the front of the goal is Nicholas Nadeau. Feet out front, and it couldn't hit a cutting first. Oh, First was eyeing that one up, and a great play by the rookie Nadeau.
And this counterattack by the Cougars right now is looking dangerous here. They've got so much speed coming up, and now they've got their backs involved in the attack.
And there was Ryu on the other end, and he gets the ball once more. Flaxman, opposite field pass, and Flaxman almost lost his footing. It's played around Green, and here goes UBC once more. Up the other way is Cosme. Looking for a little bit of help. Comcia rather, and that one pushed aside by Afwerk. He was cut off. Great defense there by Kimsley.
And Afwerk is one of the best scorers in the country, certainly the leading scorer, or one of the leading scorers, excuse me, on this team. He had 2 goals last weekend.
Strauss trying to make sure that he doesn't get one more, but already allowing one early on, that to Luke Norman if you're just joining us. Sent in. Covered by Nadeau. He's been all over the place, magnetic towards that ball so far. Just keeping it along that line was Norman, and ahead goes Nadeau once more.
Cougars right now caring a little bit too much about the whistle. Put that behind you. That time wanting a throw and didn't get it.
A little bit too much of a focus on the game outside of the game, Z, and that can hinder teams at times. And a body going down here. And it looks like getting called on this one for Mount Royal is Jonathan Walter, who's got a sibling rivalry within this game. Not playing in the game today, or at least not starting, is Josiah Walter, his younger brother. But it would be funny if we could see those two reunite on the pitch at some point within this one.
I mean, you got to think one of them or both of them have asked their coach to play them today for that reason. We'll see what situation the game gets into. Walter has yet to play a game this season, but I mean, if he's anything like his brother, definitely worth some time on the field.
Yeah, we know the legacy that J.J. Walter has had here. All rookie when he came in, obviously scored that big goal against U of A a year ago. And
what was it, 89th minute?
89th minute, you bet. Here's one to Strauss right into the bread basket as he catches that one, shoves a few T-birds out of his way, and then stands his ground. Maybe a little frustration there for Strauss.
I mean, he's got to be feeling the worst of it, right? Because if we go back and look at that clip, he's going to be the one that looks like it was his mistake. Who knows whose fault it was? You just got to fix it up and get back to your winning ways. The Cougars know how to play better than that.
Garner will collect that one out front. Otang was right in the area. You know, what a first game of the year it was for Otang Frimpong Z. I mean, he was all over, 2 goals early on, rather, and you know, that offensive consistency hasn't continued as much, but still a statement game for him.
One of the advantages that the Cougars have, we've talked about their speed on a number of occasions, but the fact that 2 of their fastest and most talented players are strong, they're well built, means you can't push them off the ball as easily. You have to rely on good timing and really clean tackling to get past them. The Cougars can, as you can see, get away and run, and you can't get in front of them.
Well, great play by Paddock, and ahead with it is Chanda. Chanda on that left side will send it high and into the right corner. Looked like that one may have had a chance to catch a goal for the moment, and just drifting over.
It is gonna draw a corner here. So MRU, they are slightly behind in corners compared to the UBC Thunderbirds. The Thunderbirds are first in Canada West with 40 corner kicks. MRU is 4th, they have 32.
And no corner here, Z, as it's a throw-in from Nadeau, but it's grabbed onto by Green. He'll go to the far side. Ryu's gonna have to run it down, a hot pass in there, and he's able to corral it. Ryu sending one out front, looking for a friend, and it's not there. Flaxman will collect on the other end. Josh Flaxman couldn't get it inside, and it'll go off a T-bird defender and out. And instead, they're going to say this one went off of Flaxman. He's not happy with the call, and so it will go in UBC's way.
And we've all been victim of it, Truman. You know, we have one of those days where you wake up and you think, the refs are out to get me. The refs don't like me. They don't like the calls that I'm trying to get today. Today can't be one of those days for MRU because they know that UBC is going to be a playoff rival. There aren't too many undefeated teams left in the country right now, let alone in this conference. UBC and MRU are both of them. Either of them could lose today. Either of them could win.
Yeah, and Z, sometimes you get out of bed and you fall straight out of it, and that's kind of happened to MRU so far. They start flat-footed, they give up the goal. Now they need to respond. There's still lots of day, and in this case, lots of game left.
And credit to UBC. There's a reason this program has been so good for so long. The culture and the discipline that they embody in every sport they play, and the talent they obviously get that comes to their school, makes them formidable in no matter what discipline they play in.
Oh, a beautiful feed up ahead. Chance here for the T-Birds. Rolling in on that side is Afwerk, and too far as it goes out the back.
And had a lot more time than I think he gave himself credit for, but that's the power of having intimidating defenders in the back line there. Alex Kemsley and Su Ryu and Joe Green are not the guys you want to see in front of you when you have the ball.
Well, and oftentimes when you have that little bit of space and you know that you have that little bit of space, then you start thinking about it too much, and
you get excited.
That looked like what Afwerk did there. MRU will take possession on the far side. Skylar Rogers with it. He'll bolt one in. There's going to be a chance out front, and the deflection goes wide. Gardner didn't have much to do out front, and a near chance there for Otang Frimpong.
And I think actually that was Chanda on the other end of it there. He's had a fair few of those opportunities this season. He gets himself into really good positions. And MRU, famous for using their backs and their midfielders to set up long balls into the box. Chanda, Flaxman, Otang Frimpong, whoever's on the other end of it, they're all capable of those touches. And is that a yellow card to head coach Ryan Jackie?
I believe it is, Zeke.
He was all smiles before the game. He is clearly not happy with something.
There's still a conversation being had over on that far side.
Don't want to get ejected from this one.
Garner. Long lobbying kick ahead. Now Royal will take possession. Rogers in the middle of it again. Here's Ryu. Being pressured on that far side. Blew a tire and will lose the ball as a result. Footing has been a little bit of a problem here so far for MRU.
Yeah, I mean, this is not their main field to play on. They did play on it last year, but I mean, we can all admit this is nothing like what Stadium Field was like last year and what it's going, 2 years ago, and what Stadium Field is going to be like next year. In a way, it's an advantage for the Cougars because they're used to playing here, but you're still going to slip on a lower quality field like this. That being said, again, what else would you rather be doing on a Saturday sunny afternoon here in Calgary? Watch two of the best teams in the country go head to head.
Well, and you speak about the old place, and one more note to add to that, Z.
Yeah.
The stands there. That's one thing that this field just doesn't have, that intimidating, overlooking presence. Not here at field number 2.
And MRU's fans are unbelievably loyal to this squad, right? 2 years ago when I started this job, it was the dead of winter when we were filming and we were commentating out here for these games, and the fans came out in droves. They put on their toques and gloves and winter jackets, and in -20 with the snow falling, they still came and supported their team. It's a lot easier to support a team when they're winning, though, right, Truman?
Yeah, and in that time frame, Z, there's been a lot of winning for MRU,
Yeah.
of course. The Canada West title, the Canada West bronze, some big-time moments in Cougar soccer history.
And going to U Sports 2 years in a row as well is no small feat. I mean, UBC have been the team from Canada West to go there every time. MRU is joining the ranks of the elite.
They're looking poised to go back there this year. Green plays it ahead, takes the return feed, a quick play, and
Wow.
A nasty collision there with Nadeau. Green's going to get up here, and Nadeau's going to get called on this one.
And I'm not sure how you can argue about that one. That's a pretty clear foul. I'm surprised there wasn't a card dealt out just because of the physicality. But loose ball, you know, you got two guys going at it. It's going to look ugly.
I think incidental contact on that one is the story.
Still got to call the foul.
JJ Walter with the ball. MRU getting set up in the O-zone here.
This is a range MRU is known to score from with their headers.
Here comes the kick. Walter looking out front. Ball has eyes. Far side, and Kingsley couldn't get to it. This one will just stay in. And MRU calling for a corner here. I think they're going to get it. And instead, it is going to be a throw-in. You can see the reaction immediately on that far side. And I believe that was Kingsley arguing with the ref that time.
And I can hear Ryan all the way from across the field over here. We know that he's a very emphatic coach. All the players talk about the support and advice that he provides to them, not just as players, as that's going to go high and wide, but also as men, right? Like, when you're at this age, it's really important to have good role models around you. And both of these coaches are great examples of that. That's why the programs are so good. Their players really believe in the mantras that they're preaching.
Walter, that kick halfway towards Jasper up there as it sailed over the goal. Walter couldn't get it that time as he fumbles and stumbles. Now the other way goes Nicholas Nadeau. Dangerous early on, hunting for a goal as he heads up against Flaxman. UBC turning it up offensively once again. Jovan Mann plays it in, and now it's moved on to the back end. Mann with it once more, plays it to the far side. Stalking in on that side is Comcia. We've seen him a couple times so far. UBC navigating on the far side of the field. onto the move man. Joven Man almost crisscrossed himself up there, but reclaims. Played ahead once again by UBC. Mount Royal standing strong on the back end. Now sent out front and a good header away there. A split second play on the back end by Kudelka.
And this is what it's going to take to try and get back in this game. Yeah, UBC has possession, but how well can you deal with being under pressure?
Kudelka again, a nice header away. Rather, I believe that was Kinsley out front who touched it that time.
And are you clearly not looking phased by this UBC offense here? They got well set up very quickly here, but MRU, they're passing in the back line and their ability to get the ball away and make up for any lapses, as Sharkey did right there, they've stayed composed.
UBC just crashing at every moment that they can. They see ball and they hunt after it.
And that's going to allow Sharkey to pick it up, and now you can take a breath and get yourself organized again. But UBC, look at their high pressure, right? I mean, they're playing a high offside trap, so they're not letting you get out an easy run. Sharky's gonna, he's gonna have to dip this to midfield.
Ooh, collision over near us is down to the ground.
And yeah, we're gonna get it. Might get a medic out here to check for a concussion there. I think it was two teammates colliding into each other on that one. It was Nicholas Nadeau into Yushuan Fon, excuse me.
Ron's slow to get up, but he is, which is a good sign here. A little bit of water, and yeah, you never know when you're going up from a header, especially when you're the guy in front. And that time, Nadeau leaning over a taller figure, a more forceful figure, and the collision happens as a result.
I mean, just an excuse to get one of your teammates to buy you dinner later that night. You crashed into me at the game here. Clearly, you owe me a full meal.
Some good sportsmanship there from Joe Green on the other end, making sure that Jan was okay.
If anyone knows collisions on this team, it's Joe Green. He gets himself involved in all the action. He's going to make sure everyone around him is okay, even if they're his opponent. It's just good sportsmanship, like you said.
Like a raindrop, that one falling into the gloves of Garner out front. Pass over to Jan. Outlet ahead. And chasing it down is Strauss, who came all the way out of his goal. The keeper will have to move back as here come the T-Birds once again. Norman plays it across, and up ahead is First. Brendan First. Jan. Down into the corner. It's Afwork. The rookie. Oh, nice move around Green, but Green recovers and gets in the way, and he breaks up what would have been a beautiful chance for Afwork.
Well, Truman, how do you stop yourself from being on the other end of a highlight reel? You block the attempt to get the ball back for yourself, and now Oteng Frimpong chasing the ball.
And that was why Joe Green was named the player of the week last week. It's those little plays that you don't often highlight on the back end, and he makes yet another here at home on this beautiful Saturday.
And Joe Green, a first year on this team, right? Like, he is unbelievably tough. He gets a dap up there from Afwork. He's earned his respect for sure with that one.
Green out of Winnipeg, Manitoba. A far trip from Calgary, Alberta here. Far trip from UBC as well. That's the worst on the schedule when a team like the T-Birds and the Trinity Western Spartans have to go all the way down to Manitoba.
Yeah. Well, you don't see every team during the season anyway, and you cherish any opportunity because you never know when you're going to face them in Canada West, regardless of what division you play in.
Paddock was down there. He's still stretching out. He got stung on the back end there. MRU plays that one aside, and UBC will have it, but Paddock will be one to watch for the rest of the game as he's still struggling.
And not the only Cougars game on today as well. I believe the women's soccer team is playing on the road today, and then we've got some preseason basketball. That's not going to be on Canada West TV, but certainly a good reason to show up to Kenyon Court with all its new renovations.
Ooh. Explain a little more, Z, for those who are maybe on campus or planning on visiting.
Brand new accessible seating in blue and light blue to give the Cougars the colors they love to see out there. You know, it looks great. The running track upstairs, if you're a fitness buff, maybe someone as athletic as you, Truman, you might be able to appreciate the workout equipment over there.
Well, I think some of these guys who are playing out here today might be more into that sort of style. Also, men's hockey at the FCA just off campus. Mount Royal and the UFC Dinos preview of the Crowchild Classic preseason edition tonight going on as well.
All of them free to attend right now for everybody, and then the games during the season free for students.
Ooh, a cheeky play out front there. Garner was hunting after it, and a good play defensively by UBC. Oh, what a nice slide there from Ryu. He's going to play it to Green, and Green will send it back towards Kudelka.
And that's a tackle that's going to make any coach proud right there. You get in the way of a pass, you don't get any contact, nothing unnecessary. That one, you know, embellishment might be a strong word for that one. There was definitely contact. I don't know if it was as severe as it looked.
Well, watching Nadeau throughout this game and seeing how aggressive he's played, sometimes you're going to get a call like that when you go into enough battles, and once again, that time it goes in his result and he gets the call.
Yep.
Jan will go to the corner. Nadeau goes back. Working it around the perimeter are the T-Birds. Nadeau. Nicholas Nadeau playing it ahead, and that pass too far. It's going to be out of the reach of the intended target, which was Norman.
So, Truman, you're seeing two different types of defense on the field here, right? The UBC Thunderbirds closing up to whoever has the ball in possession. They're willing to gamble and say, you're not going to make the long pass through us because we're going to block it, we're going to get in front of everything. MRU, on the other hand, huddling up into almost a zone sort of towards the center of the field. They know UBC, they're a volume shooting team. UBC shoot the most shots of any team in the conference, so you play the middle. You force them to take bad angle shots, get their possessions done with quickly, and you try to counterattack on the other end. We'll see which style comes out on top. Right now, UBC have the lead, but MRU's zone, if it creates enough turnovers for them and they get out and run, I mean, who's going to stop Oteng, Frimpong, and Flaxman and Chanda when they're out and running, right?
Well, it's checkers versus chess.
Yeah.
UBC moving at that fast pace and the methodical approach from the Cougars on the other side. Lobbed ahead, sliding in and missing the ball there was Rogers. Chanda looked to move it ahead, and that one sent far away. Strauss.
Oh,
an interesting play there, and a whistle.
That one had me,
as a result.
Had me worried there for a Truman. That touch was not the way Sharky wanted it. Thankfully, it's an offside.
Well, I think he almost got a bit crossed up there. He wanted to use his hands, knew that he couldn't, and then decided to try and get it with his foot. And fortunately for him and the rest of Mount Royal, it just goes out.
Saved by the bell.
Strauss will take the short approach to Kemsley. Kemsley ahead to Walter. That one's going to be too far, and Walter goes down here, whistle blown, and I think there's going to be a penalty called.
Now, if you're Josiah Walter on the UBC bench there, you're chirping your brother for that one, right? Even though that was a foul, you're chirping your brother for that, right? Come on, get up, get off the field. You know, some brotherly encouragement.
But it's up for debate. You know, sometimes even if you're playing on opposite teams, you're going to cheer. It just depends on the sibling relationship you had growing up.
Right? There's politics to this.
We'll see which one the Walters choose to take in this game, if there is any beaking over there coming from Josiah, or if, when they get into the game against each other, if there is any roughhousing like back in the good old days. Sent out front, Garner didn't have to use any part of his body on that one as it drifted aside.
And even he thought that might just curve into the top right corner there. What a goal that would have been from a long ways away.
Garner taking his time here. Pressure
so now the Cougars switching up here, playing high pressure in the back line. And now look, they're going to get a throw in here. The pace is picked up.
Oteng Frimpong out front. Will be sent aside, but MRU maintains possession and will go out. Z, explain why the switch may have occurred in this moment in time.
Well, if there's one thing I know about Ryan, it's that he likes to play 5D chess with time travel any time that he possibly can. He wants to make things as complicated for his opposition as possible, so you can switch between defensive coverages. And because this team has so much chemistry, you can switch them on the fly. Adjust. We're gonna play back, conserve energy. Great, we've got our energy together now. We're gonna push up. We're gonna press up, and especially when you can force a turnover so close to the net.
Out front, what a save by Garner. Second chance and not able to get to it. In time was Chanda. A beauty from Garner and a beauty on the second one to have it stick.
And that's what a switch like that can provide there. UBC got caught on their heels. MRU, meanwhile, sprinted towards the net, took a long ground ball, and it almost worked. But great save.
UBC looking to counter up the other way. Pass heads inside. There's a little bit of traffic. Both T-Birds got crossed up. Ball is still free, and UBC will take over. One aside as Strauss had a good eye on it, and it will go out.
And great collapsing effort there by the Cougars, right? You get involved in the middle. The ball's in a very dangerous place. But between UBC Thunderbirds running to get open and Cougars running to shut them off, there's nowhere to shoot the ball. So you settle for like, what was that, like a 25-yard shot instead of something that was 5 yards away from the net.
Yeah, the collapse was great there, Z, as you alluded to. But Mount Royal still has to stay focused on the offense right now. You can't, forget about the defense or get lackadaisical back there or take too big of risks, but there has to be a little bit more focus on getting one past Garmin.
Cougars known for their ability to shoot the ball as well. They might not be the #1 ranked shooting team in the entire conference, but even in their 0-0 games, they still had 10 shots. Today hasn't been as aggressive for them, but they've been on quite a big defensive watch with the Thunderbirds here.
Oh, a beautiful pass inside there. It looked like UBC had something going, and it's countered the other way. A nice last-second boot by Le Jeunesse.
And the last time that I watched this team was much earlier on in the season on Mount Royal Field, and they had a much easier time getting those counterattack passes through. Not to say that the University of Alberta was any easier to play against than UBC, but UBC is that much sharper. They've tuned up all of those little things, getting involved in the passing lanes, sticking together, holding an offside trap, high pressures. Like, the fact that there's such a well-oiled machine makes MRU's life so much harder, and this is a great way to get MRU ready for a deep playoff run.
The wheels churning as the T-Birds fly up the other way. Pass ahead, Ryu back there. He's keeping a close eye, and that one through, I think it might have hit Kimsley out front as he's down, and it went aside.
And that time, Ryu, it looked like he was making a good defensive decision, but left a pocket of space open in the top left corner of the box. Thankfully, it didn't work out. It is a sharp-angled shot to take, to be fair, but if there's a team that has the talent to make it, you're looking at them today.
And one thing to note for the T-Birds is that, Henry Gobu, who we expected to see in this game, is not playing right now. You got to feel like that's a little bit of an advantage for MRU.
Yeah.
Especially as this game lags on. Gobu's almost good for a goal a game, so not having that, not having to worry about that is big.
And we don't know if he's going to come and play in the second half or come on as a substitute. He'd probably be a super sub at that rate, 30 minutes, and give you 90 minutes worth of production in that time.
This one sent out front. Flaxman was there, and he couldn't get the header to go.
And honestly, if I'm an MRU Cougars player today, I'm looking at Gobu not playing today as a sign of disrespect. Like, wow, you're not going to play your top scorer against our team? You don't think that we could contend with you? You got to find those extra sources of motivation when you're playing against a tough opponent, no less in tough conditions today. It's hot out here, Truman. It is not easy to run. I mean, I think we're getting a little bit of an injury timeout here, or just a regular timeout?
I think it's just a regular timeout for now, Z, and that heat probably factoring into why a timeout is so early on here.
Yeah.
And speak of Flaxman up front, you talked about scoring. He's found that scoring touch again here in 2025, and he's modeled his game after Cristiano Ronaldo for most of his career. And so, idolizing a guy like that growing up, you like to see when moments of Ronaldo's game transfer into his game on the MRU pitch.
And it's one of the reasons he's so successful, that inspiration from Cristiano Ronaldo. When he came onto my podcast and talked about it, the #1 thing that he mentioned was the ethic, the work ethic of Cristiano, how he grinded to get to the places he got to, and how in every different team he found a way to be successful and contribute towards success. Flaxy has had to adapt between multiple different rosters and has been good almost every single year that he's been here. He was a great in tandem with David Schaefer 2 years ago. He was great in tandem with Miguel Da Rocha last year. This year in more of a leading role, playing against unbelievable talent in Chana Chanda and Kwasi Oteng Frimpong. He still looks special every time he's on the field.
Yeah, he's a game wrecker for sure, and that second team All-Star nod a couple seasons back, proof that he can be exactly that, a game wrecker. As we get back to this game that is currently being wrecked by UBC with the 1-0 lead, but as of late, they picked up the steam, they picked up the pace, and and the offense is looking strong on the Birds' end.
Yeah, I was going to say Flaxman was the only player to score in the national tournament for the Cougars last year. But when you talk about this matchup over here, there's plenty of other candidates for who could break this game open and bring the Cougars back into it. I don't think it's going to come from their front three that everyone knows so much about. It has to be someone stepping up behind the scenes to make something happen. Sure, maybe it'll be the top three that get the goal, but it'll be because of the efforts of the 8 around them.
Garner will start with it here. Just waiting for the official signal from the official.
Got a golf commentator voice out there, Truman. I hear ya. On the greens.
It wasn't intentional, Z.
You're just like that, second nature, you know? What a pro. And speaking of pros, you talk about the way that the UBC goalie has played, right? Hasn't had to face too many shots, was something that we talked about. But no matter how many shots you face, it's about how many saves you make on them. This year, he's got a 77.8 save percentage, has allowed only 4 goals on the season so far, and there's only a month left in the season. Lets you know he's a pretty good keeper in net.
One thing that's been a hindrance in this game for him has been that boot so far. That's 2 that have gone well out of bounds on the far right side.
Too much power for his own good there. No one man should have all that power.
Norman. UBC with it on the far side. Shoving match going on here, and it looks like it will go in MRU's favor. Kinsley will pick it up on the far end. Ryu with the throw in here. He's going to toss it a long ways as Otang Frimpong will get it. It'll roll to the doormat of Garner.
Almost too many heads off.
Team going to step up as well as Juan plays it away. Up ahead, goes behind Norman. Walter. J.J. Walter will send it back. Ryu onto it. Elects to go to Strauss. Teed up, fired far, and all the way down there was Otang Frimpong, who couldn't get it. Collision in the middle here, and it goes to Juan. Juan on that side. T-Birds stalking in. It's Comzie. Comzie's got a little space and a great block there by J.J. Walter, but it'll stay in. Maybe another chance for the T-Birds as they set it out front again, and a tap play there. It was Comzie who'd made his way in, and he couldn't fire it towards the goal.
Just develop that play so quickly, and they're able to react off of each other, play off of each other so well. It's a mastership of the fundamentals, but then it's also an ability to work with your teammates and not be selfish, not worry about who gets the credit for what part of the game, just everybody contributing for that end result.
Norman with some pressure there. We'll go up to Otang Frimpong. It looks like there's going to be a whistle here. MRU has a member on the ground at the moment.
And I think Ryan wants a yellow for that one. He might be right about it. That was a full-speed play. You don't want to tackle and get a foul when someone is on the run. That's something that the world of soccer has taken a little bit less of a liking towards, more cards being handed out for transition fouls like that.
So J.J. Walter will assume possession. MRU will realign itself up front. Here comes the kick from Walter. High one in there, and it goes right towards Flaxman and over the goal. Great chance for Flaxman, who cut in out front, and Garner no chance to make a save, and thankfully for him, it was over his net.
And what a redirect he had there off the right foot. He was frustrated that he didn't bury that because he didn't realize exactly how good of an opportunity it was until it was right on his plate. A little pull-up off the crossbar, the athlete himself.
Garner, Victoria BC native, will play it up ahead. T-Birds took over momentarily, but Ryu will send it out of harm's way. Here's Chanda. Ooh, that one took a high bounce on him and didn't have a chance to reclaim. Moving in's Walter. Kick out front, and it missed the goal, and that's MRU's problem right now. They're not getting anything on Garner when they get their chances.
And right now, they're settling for a lot of those shots, I think, in an act of frustration right now. Like, these are not bad shots to take. These are scoreable shots. But we've seen the Cougars look for better opportunities against other teams. You have to find pristine chances to score, but you also have to take what the defense gives you and try to make the most out of it.
So blown here, and maybe a little bit of panic with an MRU right now. Trailing by 1 early on. There's still lots of time in this game. We're not even at the half yet.
No, we're getting closer and closer to it, and ideally you want to try and tie this game up before you go into the half. But I don't know if we're watching the same game, Truman. Tell me if you agree with me here. MRU's played well today, apart from that one mistake. In my mind, this feels like a 0-0 game.
It really does in a lot of ways. You know, each team's had their chances.
Yeah.
I would say that UBC has maybe had more of the big-time chances. MRU's worked more outer. But, yeah, it does feel like 0-0, and it was one mental mistake that has us at 1-0 instead.
Exactly, and that's all it can take to decide a game. Surely you hope, for the sake of the fans and for the game here, that's not the mistake that decides the game.
Walter. Spinner inside, Garner to
Wow.
it, and he holds on with pressure in his face.
The awkward angle to make that save at, too.
You know, so much in sports is, you talk about the physical attributes, and physical this, physical that, but the mental approach to be able to stay focused in a game for the entire game is maybe even more impressive. And MRU, that one small lapse could be the difference.
Yeah, and in football, you really cannot take chances like that. You can't have lapses like that, because truly one mistake will decide an entire game, and that almost a goal right there. Skylar Rogers putting one on.
Yeah, Rogers looking to turn that one towards his left and a little too far. Garner didn't have to make a play, but it was awfully close.
And again, Truman, you talked about, missed shots right now. This is a problem that the Cougars have been facing for the last couple of weeks here. Against TWU, they got 10 shots off. Only one of them was on goal. You end up with a 0-0 tie in a game like that. If you get 10 shots, you have to get some of them to pressure the keeper, especially against better, higher level teams like UBC. You got to give them something to worry about.
I went out of a cloud there from Kudelka.
Wow, 1-on-3
Chanda's
Chanda
to
right
it. And Chanda goes down to the ground. A whistle blown here. UBC emphatic. There's a collision on the back end of it as well as Flaxman went down to the ground. There's a T-Bird down as well. Can't quite see a number on the T-Bird player for now, but it looks like a penalty's going to be called, and MRU's going to have a chance here, Z.
Listen, I was laughing because Chanda goes up against 3 players, and he's the one that comes out on top. Ends up drawing a foul. Flaxman, collateral damage in that one. Hopefully everyone's okay with that, but just, you can tell when a guy's a pro, and you can tell when a guy's a pro's pro. And Chanda right there showing you why he is the latter of those 2 choices. He gets himself in precarious positions and then makes the ref make that call. He did that right in front of the linesman. There's no way they're not making that call. And now MRU, this is a pristine opportunity to tie the game before the half.
And you talk about being a pro, what comes with a pro is experience. And, he started rec soccer at age 5, so there's a lot of experiences that Chanda has consumed over the years. And
all in Calgary, played for the Cavalry's junior ranks, played on Cavalry FC's men's team, the main squad last year. Now he's playing at the U Sports level, has been a good player everywhere he's been, and is looking to make a huge impact, has done so far for the Cougars.
Walter, here it comes. Inside, and it's open out front. Couple of whacks, and a save by Gardner. Sensational from the UBC keeper who sprawled out on the ground and kept it away.
He doesn't face a lot of shots, but almost every single time he does, Gardner can make that save in tight with so much opposition around you, and you come out with the ball in your hands, not behind you. What a save. What a performance so far.
Oh, good read by Flaxman. Here comes Josh Flaxman. It's played defensively by Ron, and the whistle blown here. Flaxman not happy about it. Doesn't seem like anybody in white and navy blue is happy about it.
I didn't even really see what the...
Maybe more satisfied.
What was the call on that one, Truman? I didn't really see that.
I didn't hear anything. I didn't see a signal.
Yeah. Regardless, it's going to be UBC ball here, closing moments of the first half.
Garner will take to it. Good read there by Kemsley. Rotang Frimpong. Up ahead, looking to get the edge. He'll stop up quickly. Tang Frimpong. Back over to Ryu. And that one seems to have gone out on the far end. The T-Birds will take it.
And if the Cougars don't score before the end of the first half here, they've got to find a way to regroup, get ready for the second. Like I said, Truman, there's less than a month left in this soccer season. So playoff standings, they're going to start getting handed out pretty soon. And the Cougars, if they can, they want to host as much of the playoffs as they possibly can on a field that no one else in the league is used to playing on. All the other fields are pretty standard. In fact, UBC's field is one of the best fields in the country. MRU's field provides a unique aspect to the game that they can use to their advantage.
And you talk about the home field advantage fading out of sports in some ways, not for MRU. There is truly one.
And the Cougars fans will pull up for those games no matter what field they play on, as long as it's in the city of Calgary.
So we're drifting towards the penalty area. Tang Frimpong jumped up for that one. T-Birds will take back over. Ooh, nice play defensively there. Is now Ryu back onto it. Mount Royal will lift to head up the other way. Played ahead for Tang Frimpong, right through his wickets. Nutmegged on that far side. Here come the T-Birds. Back and forth action here at Mount Royal field number 2 with the T-Birds leading by 1. Nadeau plays it inside. As he said, not a lot of time to go. Play out front and a fingertip save by Strauss. Here's Nadeau, that one over the goal, and 2 key chances for the T-Birds, and neither get past Strauss.
Sharkey right there making himself a candidate for his second Player of the Week award potentially this week. With saves like that, I mean, that's one you're going to want to clip back on Canada West TV for sure. What a save.
Well, him and Gardner going shot for shot, rather save for save. 2 similar saves within their last 2, as Gardner had that reaching save on the other end with MRU in tight, and Strauss returning the favor.
Neither of these 2 teams willing to accept less than the best, and their goalies are evidence of that. Both of them work extremely hard, and their results show on the field every single time they get out and play.
Paddock, a couple of nifty moves on that far side as it cuts towards the middle. Maybe a late chance here for Walter. Walter will scamper around, looking for an opening. Far side for...
I mean, what about those moves, Truman? That is an incredible set of one-on-one play right there. One-on-two play at one point. Cougars, if they score on this, that move's got to get a replay.
Ryu on the outside. He'll toss in, looking out front, and Tang Frimpong was right there, but he couldn't catch it clean.
Trying to get that back heel going, just not enough power behind it.
Garner will throw it ahead. MRU putting pressure up front. Played past Walter, and that MRU will go the other way. Flaxman, a bit of space. So he plays ahead for Chanda. Tang Frimpong was in there as well, but the ball sneaks through both of them and into the outstretched arms of Garner. Here's Nicholas Nadeau. Nadeau, near side. He's one-on-one with Flaxman, but elects to pass. Sends it off to first. Brennan first. Played off to Norman, and back over to the far side. Norman moves it ahead. Good play to disrupt that by Ryu, and now the T-Birds regain. Far side, maybe a chance heading in. Strauss out to make the save, and instead it goes wide.
That's just great pressure and great reaction timing from the Cougars keeper and their defenders right there. Oh, was that deflected? Is that a corner right there, I think? It was, yeah, because he dove down to make a great save right there.
So Nadeau will go out there. So on that side is Mann. Looks like Nadeau's going to get the kick here, but Mann will line up alongside him as well.
Cougars very familiar with defending corner kicks. They've had to defend 47 coming into this game.
Hold the fort here as this first half nearing a close. T-Birds will play it up top. Long kick in, and a great play by Joe Green out front. A header moved away by the Cougars defender, and it'll keep another one out of Mount Royal's goal. Norman will go to the ground. He's the goal scorer in this game, but that one caught him in the forehead, and he's still down. And a whistle going to be blown here as Norman's still on the ground, and looks like he's tending to his ear. And now Mount Royal's goalkeeper, Strauss, out to tend to his side.
And he's checking for any blood coming out of the back of his head. He looks to be all right, but this is the second head injury concern of the game. We've got the athletic trainer out as well. Hope he's okay. Concussions not only happen in American football, Truman, they happen in every sport, and it's something you have to be concerned about. And as a league and as an officiating group, you have to be more than cautious about it. If there's anything you're gonna stop a game too early for, it's for a concern of a concussion. You want to be able to do that when you can. And of course, the guys here will take a minute to get their water. It's still boiling hot out here. It's got to be at least 26, 28 degrees, truly.
And this game heating up right alongside it, Z. The offensive onslaughts from both these teams in this game have been fantastic as of late. You know, the T-Birds with a couple in the last few moments there, nothing getting past Strauss, and MRU with more pressure than we've seen from them really for the entirety of the game. It seems like as the first domino fell, many more were to come after.
Yeah, the Cougars took a little while to get their energy all the way up.
4 minutes added,
4 minutes of stoppage time left in this one, but towards the middle points and then the end point of this first half, the Cougars have really ramped up the pace, really ramped up the pressure, and it's paid in dividends in some way. I mean, you're getting better shots, but you're still down 1-0, so you got to find a way to capitalize on these and just get some shots on net.
Z, do you take a risk in the last four to make a play offensively and risk maybe being down more than just one?
A calculated risk. Like I would happily march into a 2-on-3 or a 3-on-4, but beyond a one-man disadvantage, I'm not taking that risk. You got to stay 1-0 in this one at the very least.
Passing from Nadeau, and it looks like UBC will take over.
4 minutes of stoppage time too doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, 4 minutes goes by quick in our day-to-day lives, but 4 minutes on a soccer field with this much talent, you could get more than one goal.
Almost the equivalent to 4 hours in real time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. We talk about dog years, how about sports minutes? It's a real-time conversion you gotta make.
I think the official even liked that one as he was smiling back here with a chuckle. Now he's looking up here. He did.
Big shout out. I mean, what, the last 10 seconds of a basketball game is an hour of itself, right?
Here's a high kick. Drift all the way down to Medicine at Alberta, rather into the parking lot that is just outside Mount Royal Field 2. And so that will mean that the Cougars will have possession.
You got a lot of love for Medicine Hat, Truman, I know that.
Always got to represent.
Must have been beautiful weather there this summer, too.
Well, you know, sunniest city in Canada, so you'd think it's sunny here right now. You go 3 hours down the road, it might outdo even this beautiful weather.
Go out there and get a quick tan, come back to Calgary looking phenomenal, glowing, bronzed.
Well, I'm sure lots of Cougars players will have tans after today.
You better believe it.
Presents itself. Hopefully they wore sunscreen.
Hopefully they didn't sweat off the sunscreen. Is there sports sunscreen? Is that a thing? Should be.
I'm not too sure.
Should be. But
for another broadcast.
A lot of other games going on in Canada West too today, so there's going to be other teams that are going through this heat, and it's not something that they're likely to worry about come playoff time, but as the regular season hits its mid to end point here, you got to deal with weather changes.
Ooh, Green, that caught a piece of his head. He's down on the pitch. Strauss will nab that one. Send a soaring kick out front, and maybe a chance for Otang Frimpong, who moved in, and a good play by Gardner. He read it the whole way, had the binoculars out from long distance.
And right now the UBC defenders quietly putting on a great performance against those long balls, like whether it's Max Comasia or any of the other guys on this team that are making those saves. I mean, like, they're just getting back and they're collapsing on the ball so quickly.
A close play out front. Not even Strauss could get to it, and looking for the corner was Mann, but a hair too far.
UBC, their counterattack is so quick. Unbelievably fast. They just get organized right away, and what a scoring opportunity that was right there.
And it can get going from a standstill.
Yeah. Feels like you're just taking a breath of air, and then all of a sudden, UBC is right in the box.
Strauss. Hail Mary down the field. Flaxman couldn't get to it. They look skyward. The T-Birds are going to get it in front of Nadeau. Norman goes back. This one headed towards Green as it seemed to curve right back in and onto the pitch and down to the ground here. Last time it was Norman getting one in the side of the head. Looks like it could be AF work here.
And you can tell that these two teams really see each other as level competitors, because there's been so much, like physical collision. You got injury concerns every few minutes because of the way guys are colliding into each other. But every single time, there's no animosity, right? They come back to each other, they dap each other up, they ask if they're okay, because both teams know they're competing as hard as they possibly can today. They know what the stakes are for this game today.
And it's Comcia who's down rather, so he's now 10-2.
You hope he's all right. He's had a great game today.
He has a spark plug offensively, especially on that left-hand side where he's worked most of his magic today.
He's getting up, walking on his own accord. Seems to be all right. So UBC gonna play with 10 on the field, only momentarily as they get Comcia sorted. And this is a good free kick opportunity.
Note there too, possess the ball off. Stop is Nadeau. Nadeau's got a great leg. Seen him on display a few times today. Here he goes. Nicholas Nadeau inside, and that one was behind its intended target. And whistle will blow here, and I believe that signals the end of the first half. UBC with a goal mere minutes into this one, taking a 1-0 lead. It was Luke Norman on the doorstep to tap it home, and since then we didn't see any more. 0 through the rest of the game, so Mount Royal will be playing catch-up here at home when our second half begins. We will see you when that comes around. From Mount Royal Field number 2 here on Canada West TV. I smell terrible. Apologies. I just ran there.
You're on.
Oh yeah, don't make that face. I can be honest. Welcome back for our second half of today's action between the UBC T-Birds and Mount Royal University Cougars here from Mount Royal Field number 2 on Canada West TV, and the UBC T-Birds out to an early lead, large in part because of the goal out front by Luke Norman, the tap-in. But MRU, they got quite a dynamic group on their side as well, headlined by Josh Flaxman, of course, Alex Kimsley, and Jonathan Walter, better known as JJ Walter, and those three all a part of that Canada West Championship team and all a part of the Cougars' success within the last couple of years. Z, can those three lead the group to get back in this one?
If there's anyone who can, it is those three. This was the first men's team to win a Canada West Gold ever since MRU joined U Sports in 2012. So it really does matter to them a lot that those three guys have stayed on this team, and you've seen evidence of the other guys who have built up to this point, the culture that they've laid behind staying on the field. You talk about Miguel Da Rocha and David Schaefer, and now Jonathan Walter still being here, keeping that culture alive, Joshua Flaxman keeping that culture alive. It's influenced the whole team, and it's made them play great, and it's what is going to make them come back in this game if they can capitalize on it.
I was going to say, are you making a bold prediction there, Z, or are you just setting the stage?
Listen, as a Blue Jays fan, I cannot help but believe in the effort of the comeback, and I do think that this Cougars team can make this comeback. They've beaten UBC in high leverage moments before. They'll look to do it here.
I think the only group of birds that we're focused on in this game are T-Birds, not Blue Jays, and we return to them with a 1-0 lead here. Can they hold the fort against a Cougars team that is hungry and on the prowl?
And this is the halftime is a good chance for them to regroup. It's a good time to listen to Ryan Jackie talk. And he is one heck of a motivational speech giver. Look for change here in the Cougars team and the way they play in this half.
Header that's played back into T-Bird territory. Ooh, maybe Flaxman was there on the backside momentarily. He has it now, and it's blocked away by Nadeau, who had a heck of a first half. Another try inside. Great play by Garner. 2 hands to set it aside.
And Truman, volleyball season hasn't gotten started yet, but we're going to see a lot more of that on Kenyon Court in just a little bit. That time getting the double-handed setup. Where's the spike?
Yeah, shades of Quinn Pellin there with the hands up high.
Can't forget about Chris Byam. You don't want to try him.
If you're not aware of who those are, 2 professionals and 2 of Canada's best right now on the rise.
Yeah. Chris Byam, of course, Team Canada alum. Can't forget.
Quinn Pellin currently on the national team. So
there you go.
MRU producing well there and hoping to do the same on the pitch.
They've produced a lot of great talents here on their soccer fields, and a lot of them still on the team. You could argue that any of the last 3 teams are the best teams that MRU soccer has ever had.
That's a problem when anytime you see the Cougars on the schedule, you don't need to know who's on the roster, you just know that they're a threat.
And it's the same thing with UBC. It doesn't even matter what sport you're playing. If UBC is on your schedule, circle that game and train hard for it, because you know that in every single sport they play, they have the best of the best, and they're coached by some of the best of the best. So playing against them, not easy, Truman, not easy at all.
Are you feeling that so far, trailing by 1, and haven't been able to seep through any of the openings that UBC is offering? Maybe the Cougars the other way. Maybe this is the time. And it's going to be out of the reach of Otang Frimpong.
Quasi was huge in that first week here. He scored with ease in his first weekend as a starter for the Cougars this year. Came off the bench for his second game, was still able to find the back of the net. Him and Chanda on the front line, I mean, what a dynamic duo they have been to watch this year. Listen, I know this one's on CBC Sports, but they are worth the Canada West TV subscription alone.
And on the back end for the T-Birds today, I mean, their group has showed out just as well, you know, headlined by Marcus Kaiser. And that trio on the back end have been excellent. Whistle blown here. See, I didn't catch that. Did you see what it was for?
I didn't either. A lot of header battles, and I think maybe because of the concussion concerns from the first half. You want to call things a little bit tighter in this half and maybe prevent the players from going for more of those battles.
Yeah, it was the reign of pain in the first half. Anytime the ball was up in the air, somebody was coming down on the pitch.
It was quite insane, if you will, Truman.
Here's Strauss. Sends it up ahead. Joe Green. Out of his foot off his foot on the other end, rather.
And it's little lapses in judgment like that that have plagued the Cougars today, whether it was, you know, wanting an offside when it didn't happen and leading to that goal, or just a few missed touches, a few passes just out of the range of the players they want to target. That's the difference today. UBC have really executed at a near pitch perfect level.
And I think there's a difference between, you know, laziness or being lackadaisical and just missing a little bit of attention to detail. And that's all that Mount Royal's missing. It's not that they're being sloppy or they're way out of it, just certain things are missing.
Sometimes the best people go to their favorite job and still have a bad day. And it's not because they don't love their job or because they don't try hard enough. Luck goes up and down. Games, life goes up and down in every single aspect.
Played ahead by Ryu. Paddock, and you can hear Chanda calling for it up ahead. Here's Luca. Walter over to Flaxman. The two veterans go side to side here, and it's back to Walter now. They'll force it to the back end. It's played ahead by Kudelka.
And the UBC Thunderbirds in their back line have one man responsible for marking Chanda at all times. They pass him off between defenders, but there are always eyes on him. So targeting him has been remarkably difficult today.
Rogers ahead to Paddock. Good poke play there on the back end by Kaiser, who we talked about earlier.
Paddock has been creative today with some of the moves he's chosen to make. He's got a real deep bag over there, a designer handbag for what he's doing with his feet there, but the defense of the Thunderbirds able to hold it off.
Front. Looking for Otang Frimpong. He was in the area but couldn't receive. Ewan the other way.
Look at Sharky.
Strauss. My goodness, a track meet out there to force it out.
He just throws himself into those situations and he can back sprint, get to the goal in time, and now the Thunderbirds, they don't have that open net.
Oh, that was
That's gonna hurt.
Nasty collision. Straight to the ground. It was Yushan Wong.
And this one is the one that's got everybody concerned the most. You see players from both teams coming to check on him. God, you can hear that from over here, Truman.
Juan slowly to his feet, but he's up, and you know, one can only hope that that was the ball that made that noise, because that was a nasty thud that could have been heard from the residence buildings to our right.
And you gotta remember, these guys, you know, some of them are 6 feet tall and weigh in excess of 200 pounds. When they're running at you full speed and they give you a kick to the leg, that's when you're gonna feel not for a day, but for a few.
And Juan only standing 5'10". He's not the tallest player on this T-Birds team. Not the smallest either. There's a couple of players at 5'8". One at 5'7" actually, and Thomas Pena not in this game today.
All about heart over height. Got to give the short kings the respect that they deserve here. Plenty of impactful ones.
What do you think about on the women's Cougars hockey team? Zina Centeno is excellent. She's one of their better players. She might be the smallest player in all of Canada West.
I mean, she gets involved in all of the action, and in a similar way, you know, it creates an advantage for smaller players. You get into spaces that taller players simply don't have the ability to.
The kick from Nadeau. High one that just sails up over the bar. And luckily for Mount Royal, this game stays just 1-0.
Paddock picking up the yellow card there. And that time, Nadeau's free kick, really well executed. Slow walk up to the ball and then a sudden movement to shoot. You're doing anything you can to throw off the timing of the keeper, especially one as good as Strauss. You got to think of better ways than just nailing a really good shot. The setup to the shot, the motion of looking at the net, where you look, how you look, when you look, all of that matters.
Nadeau will play it ahead off the knee of Green. Nadeau will send another header up front. Green in the mix again, and a great play there by Juan. Taiwan will tumble and somersault, and that ball will take its way all the way into the corner. And this will be T-Birds' possession.
Juan has been involved in a lot of the collisions today. I'm remembering from that first half, I think at least one or two of the stoppages came at his expense, and he is still getting involved in the physicality of the action today. Has not let up at all. This has shades of playoff atmosphere.
Yeah, the Taiwan native with a fearlessness out there. He doesn't know what's on the other end of the battle, but he's not afraid to get into it.
He's ready to run through a wall for his team, and you can see it today. He's ran through a few of them. They're just all wearing Cougars jerseys.
Doe sidestepping out front, and Strauss on the other end.
Pop fly to second base there, you're out. More of a line drive out, to be fair.
On the left side, ahead to Ryu. Su Ryu. Tow this one to the far side. Flaxman after it. Good use of the body there, but it's taken away.
It's a clean way to play physically, and right there, Flaxy showed he knows how to do it.
Gobu. He has made his return to the pitch here in the second half. And we alluded to it in the first half, Z. Henry Gobu, the pride of UBC, has returned, and if they're going to go up by 2, he might just be the one to do it. And if you were a betting man, you'd probably bet on him to do so.
The odds have got to be in his favor, and what a weapon to have in your back pocket, stashed away. Oh, we have a 1-0 lead, and we want to make sure we're staying in. Let's just bring one of the best scorers in the country into the game for a 45-minute shift. Half of what he's normally used to playing, double of the energy that he can now throw out as a result.
Joe Green will tend to the ball. Ooh. Rather, it was Strauss kicking all the way, looking in the wrong direction here. Now it heads into the direction of Flaxman, but it's off him and out.
You can hear the words of encouragement from the Cougars here. They have not lost faith in their ability to win this game here. It is 100% within their reach. They should not feel worried, but they should definitely press the issue.
Safe play by Strauss as he hammers it out of bounds. And I think for Mount Royal, you know, this is almost going on game 3 where they haven't scored a goal.
Yeah.
And you get to the point where you start to question and overthink things. Can we even still score a goal? And of course, that answer is a yes. But when you're out there and things aren't rolling, that seems more real and more real.
It's a daunting task, and the longer you go without scoring a goal, the more daunting the task of scoring one becomes.
Here's a chance out front and a beautiful play. Who is it? Of course, it's Henry Gobu.
Speaking of
the
scoring,
bench and on the board he goes. The former MVP has UBC up by 2.
Speaking of scoring, man, what a score that was. The beautiful control, right foot to left, and then into the back of the net right there. Strauss came out to try to make that save, but that's a tough one to get in front of. Cougars now down 2 in this game. Still plenty of time left for a comeback. But what a hill to have to climb here.
Yeah, it is 1Z, and you know, when you're playing against a team like UBC who knows how to lock it down, not just in a game in general, but in championship games, it's an even taller task. There's defense and then there's championship defense, and UBC has that to a T, and everybody within Canada West has seen that at some point.
You could honestly call the Canada West playoffs the Thunderbirds Cup. I mean, they win it so often because of their composure in big moments and because of their ability to stay locked in even when they have the lead. Like, you go up 1-0, very easy to become complacent. You go up 2-0, it's very easy to lose sight of the bigger picture here and just think, yeah, we're up 2, we can just close out this game, we don't really have to do much. Don't expect the Thunderbirds to let up here. They're better disciplined than that.
Marcus Kaiser throw in here. Another local player. So a couple of those Calgary kids on UBC play in this game. As we mentioned earlier, it's always exciting, I'm sure, for their families to be able to come out and see their sons in person.
Plenty of Calgary natives across all the sports in Canada West. I think we are one of the premier athletic cities in the country right now. You know, whether you look at basketball, volleyball, soccer, or hockey, and even football, plenty of athletes come from this great city.
I think plenty of talents is even a better way to sum it up.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing Tate McRae during the break. And
hey!
Obviously a product of Calgary, Alberta.
Big shout out to all the Calgary artists.
Sends this one high. And Tang Frimpong has had nothing on his plate out front. It has been a great game by the UBC defense, and Pujol that time with the header away.
And UBC have done a really good job of picking MRU's pockets as much as possible. They don't track turnovers in Canada West stats, and honestly right now, the Cougars might be thankful for that because it would not look good in their favor.
Chance maybe to get something going here. Walter boots it in, and behind the play and not behind the net. Flaxman was in pursuit on the other end, a header out front. Garner was beat, but the goal was not.
It's like one of those moments when you're playing, I guess it's called EAFC now, but I'll always know it as FIFA. You thought you aimed the stick towards the net the way you wanted it. You thought you got the opportunity, but at the very last moment, you see the camera pan over and it's not in the net. I mean, that is as close as it gets there. Flaxman's had plenty of opportunities today.
Early on pressure there from Chanda. Norman plays it ahead. Here comes Juan. Dangerous Yushan Juan moves it up. Here's Nicholas Nadeau. T-Birds looking for their third. A good header away there. T-Birds take it right back. It was Paddock moving it out of the way. First. Right ahead and not able to get it on the other end. It was Affleck. Affleck will take it to the corner now. Nadeau to take it. Not sure we're in the picking player of the game territory yet for either team, but you know, Nicholas Nadeau has made his case. Not sure he has any points today, but he has been absolutely everywhere.
He's a real full pitch player, you know. He's been on the offensive end, on the defensive end, a standard of excellence for this team. They've been able to ride behind him. You could even go Yushan Juan as well. I mean, he's played really, really well and has taken the brunt of the physicality from the Cougars today.
Here's Nadeau. Faked it as if he was going to wind up, now does. Out front looking for a friend. Couple of tries there. Good play by Green to head it aside.
Great work by the Cougars there at the point of attack, just being able to stay locked in, stay composed, and get that ball away.
You got to be impressed with Green's stamina as well. His motor just keeps going, you know, in the heat on a day where you're losing.
Yeah. And
you still have the pursuit like he showed on that play. Yeah, that's excellent.
And they played the evening slot last week in BC when they played UFV and TWU. So you play at night in thicker air, it's going to feel a lot better. Now you come back to Calgary, you're in the high elevation areas. You're playing in big heat right now, and for him to, you know, he's going to probably play the full 90 minutes today if nothing changes. For him to stay so composed is one word for it, but energetic the whole time is incredible.
This was tended up ahead for a new player in the game for MRU, and that's Matungalo. See, what can you tell us about Matungalo?
I mean, Buishu Matungalo, he's got the stature physically to intimidate you. He is tall and lanky, but his skill really, again, like all the other Cougars forwards, is speed and their ability to convert good opportunities. Buishu played in limited exposure last year, was definitely one of the team's favorite subs. This year, I'm expecting him to have a bigger role.
Matungalo, the only player from Saskatchewan on this Orange team. You usually see a few more players from the Prairies, but just the one.
Plenty of grass and fields out there, so you know they're going to have some good soccer players, Truman. You better believe it.
Bad drivers, good soccer players.
Yeah, speaking of good soccer in Saskatchewan, you know, standings watch is officially in effect for a lot of fans. They won 2-1 against Trinity Western yesterday to the Huskies. Calgary beat UNBC 4-2 today. Alberta looks to take home a victory against UBCO 5-0. TRU up 1-0 on McEwen, and right now this is the other game in action, 2-0. UBC is up.
Matungalo to the ground here, so MRU will take over. Joe Green, the lone MRU player in the middle, but it even looks like he's going to pinch up now.
The Cougars going all in on the attack here. You can see how many players are piled up near the box. That's going to make calling any offsides potentially difficult, as a player is going to make knowing where the line is difficult.
Walton to Matungalo. Turnaround
Wow.
try and a great save there from Garner.
Looked like Kobe on the fadeaway there, the turnaround over the right shoulder, and it nearly worked.
Oh, great play there from Garner, and there is some commotion out front. Nobody on MRU smiling or keeping their mouth shut on that play. Furious.
Might be arguing that his foot stepped out of the box when he landed with the ball in his hands, or that he was too physical with Oteng Frimpong, but no call given.
Green strips it away on the back end.
And I think for the most part, Truman, this has been a really well officiated game. There's been complaints from both sides at given times, but I mean, in any sport, you're always going to have complaints about the refs. I think this has been a well officiated soccer match today.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything blatant, that's for sure.
No, very few cards as well.
There's Norman looking for his second, and it's poked away by Ryu. Good play by Su Ryu. Norman. That triangle there being set up by UBC. It's played to the middle of it, maybe a chance here out front. One-on-one and a diving play to deflect it aside by Kemsley. The former second team All-Star using all of his leg to send that one aside.
And the Cougars right there falling victim to the Thunderbirds' incredible motion on offense. They know how to free up spaces on the field, and then they know the timing at which they have to fill them. That time using the lateral passing to free up a lane, top left corner of the box. Strauss is one-on-one at that point. It's going to be a corner for the leading corner kicking team in this conference.
It's Nadeau out there once again. He's getting lots of reps in today. No wonder they're the leading corner kicking team.
First year as well, right? I mean, he's got the energy. Better believe it.
Here it comes. Oh, nice play out front there. A couple of headers aside in the last few moments here, and they've saved MRU from giving up any more goals. There's Strauss. Hands that one ahead to Joe Green. Green, cross pitch, looking for Chanda, and a flag is up for offside.
Haven't seen too many offsides called today. We saw plenty in women's soccer a couple weeks ago. You don't see a lot of them today.
No, yeah, you had a whole boatload last week with the women's game. It was getting out of hand at one point. And
Yeah.
they were all valid calls.
Of course.
Just two teams getting a little apprehensive.
And we got a chance to explain the offside trap to our viewers as well. What are the most commonly used tactics in the game at any level?
Stymied on the back end here is Kaiser. Man will play it back to Nadeau. Nadeau sliding, and he sends it out of the way. I think this will be last touched by MRU, is looking to avoid it on that far side. I believe it's Rogers. And it looks like it's going to stay in Mount Royal's possession here as Green will throw it into Walter.
Mount Royal substitution in the 16th minute, number 19, Clement Y, in for number 21, Quasi Oteng Frimpong.
So Frimpong comes out of the game here, has had a rough go of it, not for a lack of effort, but for a lack of results. I mean, it has been very difficult for the Cougars to find any action, and then when they do find a good place to be on the field, scoring seems to be of the utmost difficulty right now.
Here come the T-Birds now. It's Mann. He'll place it ahead. It's defended away by, I believe that was Kadelkin. New player in the game for MRU.
Clement Guoy, who was a part of the playoff run 2 years ago and last year as well. You don't hear his name too often, but every time you do, he generally tends to put on a positive spin for the Cougars. You know, that championship experience, regardless of what spot on the team you are, first string or second, you have a lot of very valuable experiential knowledge, and that's going to help the rest of your teammates, particularly the first years, get the hang of things, especially in big, deep moments like this.
The third-year player from Montreal, Quebec, still looking for his first ever Canada West goal. We'll see if maybe there's a chance in the late stages of this game.
Would be a great game to get it. You get it on national TV.
Kaiser moves this one ahead, and a nice play by Ryu. Su Ryu looking to lead the rush out as he heads up the far left side, or the near left side rather. Ryu. Tungalo calling for it behind him. Ryu instead slows things down and then has it knocked away, and Onto it like a dog is man. Man ahead. Couldn't hit Gobu, and now here goes Henry Gobu. Green turns that one away. Walter onto it. Veteran Jonathan Walter.
BC substitutions, 27
Far
in
ahead.
for 24, 27 Marcus
Go too
Roykavena
far.
in
Taking it outside will be Nadeau.
Rukavina coming in for the Thunderbirds, in for Luke Norman.
Three Marcuses rather in the game for the UBC T-Birds. Of course, on the back end, Marcus Puhal, who's been excellent in this game. Marcus Kaiser also on that backside for a majority of this game. And as you said, Marcus Rukavina coming into the game, the second-year player from Burnaby, Alberta.
Marky and Marcus. You just got to figure out which one is which. I mean, surely that must get complicated in team practices at some times when your coach is yelling at you. You got to have designated nicknames for that.
Chance for Gouye ahead. Looking for Chanda. It was moved away. Chanda with one of the better chances this game for MRU, but couldn't complete.
And created by the speed and the persistence of Gouye on that one. A good delivery, but again, the Thunderbirds, their ability to collapse on Chanda has been perfect today.
Gouye sneaking behind the defense there. We haven't seen a lot of that today, Z. It has been shut down. Keep your body ahead. The back three have had eyes on the MRU all day.
Chanda knows he's going to be the target man offensively and defensively. So you have to worry about, the other options. You have to find a way to capitalize on the extra attention he's getting. Maybe open up something from the wings.
That one right to our feet down below as Rukavina was moving in, looking for his first scoring chance of the game. Defended well on that far side there by Kemsley.
Max Nero getting set to come in for the Cougars. Played for the Cavalry U21 League Alberta team. The 5'10" first-year business student. I think he did start earlier in the year, if I'm not mistaken. It was either the first or the second game that Nero was in the lineup. So you see the Cougars have so much adaptability up and down their lineup. They can play so many different guys, and that gives them, the confidence to come back even when their backs are against the wall like this.
And Nero still looking for his first goal ever, I believe, as well.
Yes. Definitely a candidate to get it. He is a talented midfielder from Calgary, Alberta. He's all about business. He is a business student.
Oh, a great pass out front, and maybe a better play defensively by Kemsley. Ryu, a nifty play out front as he looks to push the pace, and it's right back into T-Bird feet. Down there. Couldn't make anything out of it. Now here goes Ryu the other way. Ryu, another high motor player for MRU. Him and Green both with great speed. Green maybe a little bit more aggressive in terms of physicality. Ryu more of a finesse style player.
Yeah, and Ryu takes his own fair share of physical hits too. First couple of games, his energy was infectious on the team, helped them in 2 straight comeback wins for their home opening weekend. So definitely, from a fan perspective, when you see him on the field, keep an eye on him. He is a very dynamic player, both ends of the ball.
Kick was too far off the boot of Puhal. Played ahead again by the T-Birds. UBC far side as they work it down that left hand. And this one will be played high and out.
And played into the fan zone and drew in quite a lot of people on field too today. If I'm not mistaken, this might be this season's record attendance so far. We don't have the numbers as of yet. They generally get recorded at the end of the game here, but I mean, they're filling up both sides of the spectator zones here. You got a bunch of people behind the net. A lot of support here for the MRU Cougars and assumedly also the UBC Thunderbirds.
The UBC a long way to travel, but as we mentioned before, lots of players from this area.
Yep. So you got to show up for those Calgary athletes no matter what jersey they wear.
Pass was out of the reach of Rukavina. Strauss will grab hold of it now, and a sub coming in for MRU. Looks like it could be Alex Cameron down there.
Alex Cameron picked up a a yellow card last week against UFV, the only Cougar to pick one up in that game there. He is a energetic fella right there. He was on the podcast to talk about his first year in Canada West, and man, he's a great person to talk to, has a lot of energy and really wants to give himself to this team, has grown up in Calgary, played with the Cavalry's U21 team, continues to be a part of different soccer organizations in the city as well.
Here's Chanda, moved ahead to Flaxman.
Alex Cameron in for number 2.
Here come Mount Royal. Joe Green on the back end, played out front. It was intended for Flaxman. Chanda caught the heaviest of it, and now it's moved aside by the T-Birds. Long pass up by Nadeau. Ooh, Strauss all the way out to play it away.
He's a gambler, Shark. He is. He's putting it all on red when he's going out there.
Yeah, riverboat gambler for sure.
Yeah. And just going back to sort of the makeup of this Cougars team, right? You talk about Flaxman and Cameron. You know, you have a veteran on one end of that discussion and a rookie on the other. They have worked in tandem so well with the rest of the talent on this team. Not every rookie here is a young-faced, inexperienced guy. Chanda might be in his first year of U Sports, but he's played at the CPL level. So just the raw makeup of this team, and we heard it when we talked to them every single weekend. They seem so ready for the moment. Big moments like these make them happy as athletes, as soccer players on the biggest collegiate stage. And not a lot of time left in this game, but if there's a way to come back, those two are prime candidates to make it work.
Well, you always got to have a little bit of faith, and you talked about Chanda and his illustrious career. Throughout that career, faith has been something that has been really important to his play. Grew up a Christian, and before every game, he prays. It's one of the big things that he does, and he will even write Bible verses around his wrist on a wristband while he plays someone that is very fond of his faith and willing to spread it with anybody who's willing to listen.
Gives all thanks after he scores a goal as well. He puts his hands up. And he knows that there's so much more going on in his life than what he does to be good at this game. There's so many other factors that it takes to become a good athlete. So many things you need along the way, and it's just good to see an athlete who is grateful. You look for gratitude in any profession, right? For the opportunities that you get, and that gratitude only takes you further. And Chanda, he's taken it as far as he possibly can, and only looks to take it even further.
I think what gets lost sometimes within the game, especially within a game like this where a team may be trailing or struggling, is the character element.
Yeah.
All these guys have their own stories, and for Chanda, as we mentioned, a big part of this. Garner. Move this one ahead. Tungalo will throw in here. The pass from Garner is too far. Rather, he'll elect to defer and give it to Cameron instead. It's intended for Nero. He's sent ahead. Here come the T-Birds. Ricovina. He's had lots of touches since he's entered onto the pitch. To Herbert. He gets his first look in this game. Chanda. Some good speed as he moves ahead. Stalks his way into T-Bird territory. Chanda. Dish off pass to Matungalo. Matungalo working his way inside. Great play by Herbert.
Ball kind of sticking right now for the Cougars. They've neglected to use the short passing game as much as they did in the first half, and that's making it easier for the Thunderbirds players to track down the ball and get turnovers forced. You got to move it around quicker, make quicker decisions, and hope for the best with them.
Matungalo getting into it with Herbert. UBC will slow this game down. Gogu tosses it to the back end, and it's je ne sais.
And so much of the game in soccer is about, moderating your energy. So you'll see players fight for a little while, and you wonder why they don't go for every loose ball or loose opportunity like hockey or basketball or another sport. It's because you got to play 90 minutes in burning heat. There are ups and downs in the game, and you have to be able to know when each time is right for you, when you need each version of that time.
Just wanted to mention, watched Flaxman on the last play there, rather. The ball was out of his reach. It just seems like things are a little bit off in terms of chemistry right now for MRU, and they have a lot of that. But that fast passing example.
Yeah, and a rare example, right? Like, we don't see this from either of these teams often. You don't see a lot of mistakes. Heck, it's why they're so good in Canada West. They don't make a lot of them. But sometimes it's just not your day. And for the Cougars, they've done a lot of things right. Scoring hasn't been one of them. And 2-0 to score right now. It feels, again, like 1-0. It almost feels like 0-0. But the score is what it is.
Here's Nero looking ahead. He's going to hit Flaxman in stride. Flaxman will pause up, cut to the middle, and a good block there from the steadiest member on the back end today, Marcus Poole for the T-Birds.
One of the 3 Marcuses on the team, like you mentioned earlier.
Well, a standout player. Nero tripped up there, and a whistle will blow as a result.
Good way to know, as a ref, if someone did something and they don't want you to notice it, is when they put their hands up before you whistle it down. As soon as the hands go up, you're like, all right, you can't hide it any more obviously than that.
You think that tactically players would stay away from that, knowing that it's a dead giveaway.
Well, you're human, right? You
True.
get caught red-handed and you're like, ah, it's not me, it's not me. Never works. Ask Shaggy about that. You can't say it wasn't me. Oh, what an
Lob
opportunity.
inside, and a header out front by Kemsley just misses.
Captain K right now trying to make something happen, and hasn't worked out for Alex today. 2 Alexes on the field for the Cougars right now, Kemsley and Cameron.
Go Blue. Strauss will come out to meet this. He's going to get a glove on. A couple words with Go Blue on that backside.
They've exchanged a few pleasantries today, Sharky and various members of the Thunderbirds. You don't see each other often, so you gotta say hi.
Strauss taking his time, and now will send a drop kick up in the air. Chanda looking to break up that pass. Mount Royal back with it. Chanda, lots of pressure up there. High kick, Kemsley will play it aside. Green in there. Gonna bounce off his chest, and now Joe Green looking to go the other way. A toe pick kick will be gathered by Le Jeunesse. And Le Jeunesse down to the ground as him and Chanda got tied up. This game coming to a winding end here from Mount Royal Field number 2, and I think we got to talk about the inevitable Z, and that, you know, MRU's 0-loss season comes to a close, and you expect to lose one at some point, but when you haven't lost one, it feels like you're never gonna.
And barring short of a miracle here, it is going to end in a loss, and one that the Cougars can chalk up to partially bad luck, but also a need to tighten up execution. This is now 3 straight games without a goal scored for a team with plenty of offensive talent. In training this week, I would not expect the Cougars to go easy at all. Tomorrow they've got one more game. You want to try and get at least 1 goal on the board. You're playing against UNBC, not as high-strung in terms of their talent as UBC, but still a worthy opponent. You can't underestimate any team from BC, in fact. So we'll see if the Cougars can make it up there, but an ugly way to lose today for sure.
Northern BC has talented players, including the likes of Wyatt Lyon, who we'll see here tomorrow. We'll get back on track once that game comes around. We will have to see is this one coming to an end. The one positive here is, you know, now you've seen UBC, now you've got to play against them, so if you meet them later on in the playoffs, you're familiar.
And if there's any team that you're mildly okay with giving your first loss of the season to, UBC being the only team you lose to in the season, if that's the case, is not that bad of a scenario.
Break up there by Nero, couldn't handle it, it's too hot and it'll roll out.
And hey, Cougar, if we're going to talk about the Cougars losing streaks, you got to talk about the Thunderbirds winning streak, excuse me. 7 games in a row to start the year? I mean, wow, this program, I mean, every year they're impressive, so really, should I even be surprised? But undefeated and no ties either. This late into the season, less than a month left, is incredible work, and it's a testament to what the Thunderbirds have established as an organization in U Sports, as a program for these players to come through and develop in U Sports.
Well, that C and UBC is starting to act as a champion instead of Columbia. That's all they do is win, regardless of the sport, but men's soccer near the forefront.
They've got as many names as anyone else, more names than anyone else, in fact, on the Canada West Trophy than anyone. So
Gobu, ooh, a nice play there by Kemsley at the last moment, but he jumps up as he wasn't able to hold it in.
This will be Jack Garner's third shutout of the season. He's already got 2 of them on his ledger. One of them came last week against Trinity Western. So just a testament to what he's been able to do this season as a goalie.
Sure has been raking them in as Gobu down low. Out front, Strauss with a catch. He's now looking to run out and find a teammate, but MRU wasn't quite in position.
I apologize. Garner's third shutout this week is correct, but his last shutout was 1-0 against University of Alberta. So third clean sheet of the season for the BC goaltender.
Here's Green. Looking to maybe snap that at the last minute here. Matungalo out front. He's bouncing it around in a circus act. Spins it around the backside, and he couldn't find Chanda, who was sneaking it out front.
Because before you got to shoot the ball, you got to get control of it, and that time it was a little bit difficult for Matungalo to settle that one.
Rosie, it almost seemed like you threw out a commentator's curse there on Garner. Shutout streak almost coming to an end.
You always forget the role you play as a broadcaster in the team's wins and losses. Last year on the basketball court, Will Brennan and I caused a lot of unintentional missed free throws. Always the worst when that happens.
If you were curious. MRU will take it on the outside. Green to Chanda. Takes the return, but Tungalo looking to get in the lane and sent up ahead. It's off ahead here. Gobu right to it.
And you see Cameron marking the back end of the field, got some words of encouragement on where to be from his coaches there, learning on the fly against a very good UBC team here. This is a tough team to come up against in your rookie season.
On the far side. Going into his toolbox here with a couple of neat moves. Gobu right back ahead. Juan out front. Pass to Herbert, and a good block there by Kemsley. Now Alex Kemsley on the back end has been remarkable today. Lots of block shots, and Green too far on that one as he goes right into the back of Gobu, and he's down to the ground.
But I think we're going to get a penalty here.
I think it is going against Joe Green.
Unfortunate way to end it here. You go down swinging, but sometimes it looks a little bit worse when you do. Now you're going to give up a late game penalty, and if UBC scored this, which they've been known to be able to do, that puts you down 3-0 at the end of this game. One goal you feel like you didn't deserve to give up. The second one was definitely an incredible effort. And if this is anything to recognize from what UBC has been able to do, this is going to be a third goal from a penalty, or I guess not. No, it was a foul the other way.
Interesting.
I fully thought that was a penalty. I would have accepted that call.
And it was not Gobu who went to the ground. It was Juan again who was in the mix with Green.
He's involved, man. He's in everything today.
I think you could build a highlight tape that describes this game to a T just based off of Juan and Green plays. And that doesn't mean that everything else hasn't been important, but those two have been so in it.
Yeah. Juan, is going to be my pick for player of the game personally. You can't argue with his effort today.
Gobu out front, and a great block at the last moment. Kemsley puts on the cape and he uses his foot to direct it aside.
And that's why he is the Cougars captain. In the face of adversity, puts his body on the line and keeps his team in a 2-goal game here.
Far side, it's Nicholas Nadeau. Nadeau will overhandle it. Green will take it out on the far side. Strauss picking up his teammate in Kemsley, who he's gone to war for him out front.
He's going to buy Kemsley a happy dad after the game today. That was a heck of a save.
I'm not sure if we're allowed to endorse alcoholic beverages. You could have said a nice glass,
happy dad
of
because
water.
they did have an amazing ad. they had an amazing ad on our Cougars games last year. Regardless, I mean, Kemsley, definitely something that Sharkey owes him, because what an incredible effort that was to keep the ball out of the net. Even late in the game, you know, you're down 2-0, you're going to lose anyway. You still want to keep goals out of it. We talked about this in the women's broadcast. Truman, goal differential matters too.
Sure does. UBC doesn't have to worry about that because they score more than anybody in the conference.
They win more than anyone in the conference.
That as
too.
well.
Yeah. Now, two great teams have gone and faced off today. Definitely a game worthy of watching, whether you're watching on CBC Sports or Canada West TV. You've been treated to two of the best teams in the country here, and potentially the matchup you're going to see at some point in the playoffs, maybe even in the finals for Canada West and on the national stage.
And if you're watching from the UK, maybe cheering on Alex Kemsley, and you heard Z, talk about a certain beverage that should be bought. How about an iron brew? That's a big,
How about that?
Big choice of probably the biggest drink over there in the UK.
Some beans on toast.
Haggis, maybe. That's more Scottish.
Shepherd's pie.
I don't know about that one. Out front, Kemsley. Another play. Cameron will get a touch as well. So Alex to Alex and out. T-Birds take over. Herbert. Oliver Herbert. Turns it to the back end. It's John Way who was there to grab it.
Wow.
Far end.
That's a heck of a tackle right there.
On again. Here's Green. Jumps ahead and off a T-bird. So Green will get another throw in.
Cougars still looking for an end of the game goal here. You'll take any concession you can right now, and there is still an outside chance to tie this game. They haven't announced stoppage time yet, Truman.
Yeah, we do not have the time. We can not see it up here, so we're just playing it by ear.
Josh Unjongway in for Brennan first.
Coming out of the game there was Brennan first, as they just announced.
Has had a great game today, has he?
T-Birds move it ahead. Comes cuts it to the far side. Jan was there. You can hear the UBC coach yelling for a one-on-one challenge down below, trying to encourage Bukovina. So blown is down to the ground there on that side was Kudelka.
Actually, you know what? It might have been a mistake. It wasn't the beverage that I was talking about that had a commercial for us. It was a different one. But regardless here, what a game between these two teams today. Truman, what are you learning here from both of these teams in terms of a prediction for the playoffs on how they'll stand up against the rest of Canada West here with less than a month to go?
Well, I don't like to make predictions usually, Z, but watching MRU throughout a majority of the season, they've hit a little bit of a low point in this season, but I think their low point is higher than most other teams, and I think that will serve them well, knowing that their floor isn't something that can poke much lower. And for UBC, they are the gold tier, the gold standard. This is kind of what we expected coming into this game. Their superstar scored. MRU knows what to expect. Now you just got to go out there and try and find a way to beat them. Matungalo. Out front, Garner. Secured on the ground.
And Garner is going to receive a lot of credit, and rightfully so, for what he did today. This game, he's faced almost more shots than any other game this season and has held up extremely well against a nuclear offensive effort from the Cougars today. Yes, they missed a lot of shots, whether you want to chalk that up to wind, just a little bit of bad luck, but the times when they've called on their keeper to make a save, he's kept them in this game, kept them in front in this game.
Speaking of in front, there is a case for Garner to be in that goalie of the year conversation, and he might be out in front now after what he's done over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both of these guys are high-level contenders for it. Sharkey for the volume of saves that he makes, and Garner for the percentage of shots that he saves.
Gobu, chip shot out front, and it's banged aside. Gaio's there, and right back to T-Bird's way it goes. Herbert Gobu looking out front and is moved away.
So 5 minutes of stoppage time were announced a little bit earlier here. We're probably closer to 3.5 or 4 minutes left in this one. UBC could look to park the bus here and just hold the ball in the corner, let the pressure come to them and let time tick down, or they could attack. If I'm the Thunderbirds, I'm going for the attack and taking any opportunity I can to practice my offense.
Z, are you at all surprised that there's more stoppage time this half than the last one, with all the injuries?
You would think so, right? But generally at the end of games in the second half, the refs will allow for more stoppage time. You want to see some end of the game thrills. And the Cougars, only down by 2 goals in 5 minutes is something this team in particular is capable of doing and has shown capability to do this season and seasons previous.
Chanda gave it all he could, running towards the boundary there. That one out of his reach. He's played the entire game, and you know, stamina isn't something that is faulted at all. That one just too far ahead. You can't blame him.
I mean, Truman, we've barely played this entire broadcast without going to our water bottles, let alone playing the game for 90 minutes in this heat, in this situation. I mean, Chanda really putting on for his first year for the Cougars.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Mario will resume possession outside. Alex Cameron to it. Get this in swiftly. Matunga. Nero. Here's Joe Green now. Crossed up there by a little bit of pressure from Juan. A nice header there to push it out of the way. John Way.
And just so much effort from the Thunderbirds has gone towards blocking up the passing lanes, clogging up any options for teamwork on this Cougars team to present itself, and that's helped them prevent some offense. But the one-on-one move from Matungulo, more of that, and the Cougars could break free in this one and at least get one goal, prevent it from being a shutout.
Yeah, Matungulo's got some flair to his game.
Hey.
It comes in small doses, but something like that, like there, if he can build off of that, if he can get, you know, more consistency to his game, he's going to be a dynamic player.
Hey, in the words of Post Malone, he can keep it saucing on you, man. He's got the moves, he's creative, and he's courageous enough to let that out.
Here's Nero. Nearly fell to the pitch. Matungulo. Herbert note, and the final whistle will blow. UBC on the road against the Cougars. Get it done and prove why they are number one. A 2-0 victory here at Mount Royal Field number 2. And of course, their superstar, Henry Gobu, finding the second one and clinching this for the T-Birds.
A mental lapse by the Cougars early in the game sees them meet their fate a little bit earlier than they wanted to. Had a lot of chances to come back into this one, put a lot of good efforts towards the net. Sometimes it's just not your day, and for the Cougars, they've had a lot of great days in Canada West this season and seasons previous. So a minor lapse, you come back brighter and better than ever.
And Jack Gardner in between the pipes for UBCZ. We talked
Huge.
about it all game long, you know. The clean sheets this season for him. It's been a remarkable run. I mean, how do you put the ball past this guy?
Third clean sheet this season, and you got a lot of teams asking that very question, Truman. It's a riddle that the Cougars are going to have to figure out in less than a month here. The playoffs are right around the corner, and again, everything in Canada West goes through this team. So if you want any success at the conference level or the national level, this is the team you got to find a way to beat above all others.
Yeah, they are the top dog, or maybe rather top bird in Canada West, and Mount Royal will be hoping that they get another crack at them as this season progresses. Well, that takes care of today's game here on both Canada West TV and CBC. We appreciate you joining us at Mount Royal Field number 2. UBC on top, 2-0. For Zafir Naji and myself, Truman Bartman, we will see you for another round of Canada West Soccer next week.